Good morning. Thank you for joining us on this short video. Today, we're going to talk about why your kids act out the minute that you want them to do something. There's actually a poster I saw on Facebook, and it says, when I grow up or when I get old, I'm going to move in with my kids. I'm going to watch their TV, eat all their food, use all their stuff, and then just not do anything to pick up. I can't remember what the poster is, but you get the point of it. And, since working with Tom, since learning some things, that poster is almost like watching somebody take the fingernails down a chalkboard now, because I know the other side. And so what we're going to do is show you or make you aware today that you are in complete control of the environment that your children are growing in. And Tom, can you shed some light on this, please?
Oh, absolutely. This is such a wonderful thing. Let me grab the book here and let's just look at chapter 3, because that's creating the right environment. And I love this quote. Every child is a joy to be around when the correct environment is created. Now, you might ask yourself, well, what does that really mean? Every child's a joy to be around. You haven't been at my house. People would snap them really quickly, say. But if you think about each particular environment creates what type of behavior or what kind of thing that a child's going to, quote unquote, master. See, all of us will master our environment. Children are exactly the same. And so let's just think for a moment, what would be the correct environment to make something grow almost 100% of the time? And if you think about it, how many of us have ever seen mold grow in a dark, damp, or wet, like closet or something? And it's like guaranteed to grow. It just takes a little bit of time. But if you were to change that environment and make it bright, more circulation of air, warm, all of a sudden that mold would do what? You got it. It would cease to exist. There's no way that mold can grow in that environment. So now take this analogy and think about it with your kids. There's going to be behaviors that you like, that you don't like, and then there's just everything in between. So think of the environment. The environment that I created in my house is creating my children to act like X, because they're learning to master that environment. It's something you like or you don't like. And if you don't like it, then changing the environment is very, very key.
Yes. Because when I first met Tom, I had 4 kids. They were between the ages of 7 and I'm thinking 6 and 12 or 7 and 13, right around in there. And when I would come home, all 4 of them would be lounged on the couch. They'd taken over my whole house. And if I wanted to have some peace, or if I wanted to watch my own show, I found myself locked in my bedroom, enjoying my tranquility, until Tom taught me to set up the environment in the home. And this was so freeing for me, Tom, that the TV is a privilege for my kids. Playing on my computer, using my phone, those were privileges. Eating snacks out of the fridge whenever they wanted, that's a privilege. I didn't owe them these things. And so that's what we're talking about today. And what does that mean? And how can the moms and dads out there watching the video right now, use all this arsenal that's already in their home to empower their kids to be motivated and inspire their kids to cooperate, rather than yell and dictate and punish and all that stuff.
Well, let's look at the psychology of how things happen when we're given something without any effort on our own. When something's given to you, you're like, wow, thank you. You're excited. And then all of a sudden it's given to you again. And pretty soon you get used to the environment that, okay, I showed up, so where is it? And when it doesn't show up, you're like, hey, I'm supposed to have or I didn't get. It puts you into a negative environment, because without that person there to give you that item, and if they're not there, you don't get it. Therefore, it creates a lot of negativity in your life because you feel helpless and there's nothing you can do. It's almost like swimming in water with not knowing how to swim. You're looking like a spaz at best, just trying to keep your head above water. But if you learn the environment on how to acquire that item that at first was given to you, but there was a life skill that showed you that anytime you would like this item to show up, here's what the 3 action steps of what the parent does, 1, 2, 3, to make it show up so they can give it to you. And if the parent were to show that to the child, Here's step 1, 2, and 3. Let me show you how to do that. So therefore, now you have a choice for absolute happiness. 1, you could receive it from the parent. 2, when no parent is around, you go, oh, if it is to be, it's up to me. That's right. Step 1, step 2, step 3. There it is. I created it and make it on my own. Therefore, the child in that environment is always set up to win-win or have a good and or better day versus a good bad day. That's key.
Yeah, this was so cool. Okay, so we don't want to be here all day. This is just to make a point that when we just give our kids everything that they haven't asked for, we're setting ourselves up in a world of no gratitude, lazy, unmotivated kids and whatnot, which is what I had set up in my house. And when I realized this and I said, okay, TV's a privilege. Sleepovers are a privilege. Oh, how freeing was that? Sleepovers are a privilege. So I always felt like I was in this position where I had to say no or yes to my kids and it didn't ever feel good. And so when I started setting up the environment in my home where they earned sleepovers, where they earned TV time and whatnot, this is when my once 11-year-old, very demanding and defiant daughter, who would say things to me like, if you love me, you'd pay for my cell phone and then hang up the phone on me. This is where she started actually going, hey, Mom, it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Don't come out of your room yet. We have a surprise for you downstairs. Now, sometimes I could be like, wonder what's going on downstairs.
What did they break?
Right. But this time I was like, okay, I wonder what they're up to. And about half an hour to 45 minutes later, she came upstairs, knocked on my door. They had made me pancakes, breakfast in bed, and juice on like a little tray and everything. And they'd cleaned up the whole living room without being asked to earn a sleepover. And that was just one example that just made my heart go, oh my gosh, every mom and dad in the world needs to know about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is wonderful. When you think about any kind of wise wisdom that's been written, you've always heard it's better to give than it is to receive, right? You reap what you sow. There's so many different ways that it's always been shared. And so when a child can think, it's not about what can somebody give to me? It's like, what can I do to put a smile on someone's face? And then all of a sudden, when I need something, it shows up every time. So every time you think, if I'm going to make something happen and come to me, I first must take that action in order to create something. So let's see. If I'm looking to have a sleepover, which is a privilege, it's not right. There's no law that says that you have to have that. Is it a fun thing? Is it part of the development? Absolutely. But if you just kept giving it to them, when you're not there, they won't know how to create it on their own. But if you were to show them how to do a certain thing, like responsibility, when you get up to go to school every day, or you make sure your chore was done, or you and your siblings behave in a better way because we're working on manners. When you do these things, they put out a little bit of effort. It's better to give than it is receive. That really means is that you give first, and when you give the right amount, you're going to receive what it was that's your goal. That's the spirit speaking inside, and it always stays alive and grows when it actually does something to quote unquote earn and or create it versus just giving it to them. And that has always been counterintuitive. But until now, when you know the difference, you'll never go back.
Yeah, it's so true. When you learn what we're talking about, yeah, you can't go back. Again, it was just like the fingernails on a chalkboard. So thank you so much for watching this video. The whole point is that it's our job to teach our kids life skills. It's our role in the house to create an environment that will, allow the kids to become champions and also allow you to parent with more fun, peace, happiness, and harmony. This is Bonnie and Thomas Liotta. We're the authors of Learn to Speak Kid. You can visit us on our website, learntospeakkid.com. If you liked what you learned on this video today, please click like, share it on social media, and let others find it as well. Because the one thing that I know for sure, the more of you that get to know this information and the more of your friends that get to know it, the more champion kids, our kids, have to hang around with. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye for now.